Hey guys, it's Reed from Emerald Lotus, a website that shares free weekly tarot resources for you. And today I just have this feeling that we should be doing a past life oracle reading. Now, this deck is controversial because it is by Doreen Virtue. If you have not heard about that kind of scandal, then ignore it. But if you have, then just know that I still believe in using an artist's artwork, even if I don't necessarily agree with their ideas, because I think it's possible to separate the art from the artist, but not in all cases. And anyway, I just wanted to give that little disclaimer, but I will be using the past life oracle cards today. I'm actually just going to move my coffee out of the way. So I don't know why, but I just have this really strong feeling like I really want to do past life reading for you. So I'm going to get the piles ready, and then I'll get you to choose a pile, and I'll give you a reading on a past life influence that's currently affecting you. Let's get started. So I've used this deck numerous times. I've had really actually great readings. I also have a video on my past life regression experience, on one of my experiences more, or I think there's two stories actually in there. I will link it in the cards above if you're curious on hearing about some of my experience. I've done a past life regression through the Newton Institute, and then I've also done a hypnotherapy past life regression in a group. So I've had a couple different experiences doing past life regression, as well as doing a little bit of past life regression with just a regular like spiritual teacher, not a specific hypnotherapist or someone that's specifically trained for past life. I've done some of that stuff as well. Anyway, just giving a little bit of context, I guess. So I'm just gonna split this into 3 piles. Past life experiences that are currently influencing your current life. Okay, I think I'm gonna pull more cards for your reading as well, but I just wanna have 3 simple cards to start. And I will let you choose your pile. There we go. We have group 1, group 2, group 1, group 2, group 3. So take a second, connect with your past life energy, take a deep breath, and see which deck is really calling to you. If there's one deck that you just feel like, yes, that is it, go with that one. If you can't decide, then sit with it for a little bit longer and just see which deck pops up. Once you know the deck that you feel connected to, you can take a look in the comments or the YouTube description, and you will see a timestamp that you can click on for your reading, and I will meet you there. Okay, group 1, this is your reading. So immediately when connecting with your energy, group 1, I sensed like a past life where your life was filled with lessons, which I know is kind of vague, I guess, but I really saw like a brain opening up and information just being dumped inside that brain. So I don't really know exactly what that means, but hopefully we figure it out as we go along. So your first card, oh my goodness, is lessons and blessings. Did I just say that your message was lessons? I literally can't remember if I just said that, but I feel like I might have. In my mind, I definitely did have the word lessons, which is so crazy because that's your first card, and I absolutely have not taken a look at these cards. Sadly, there's no way to prove that, which I wish I could because it's pretty cool. But anyway, you'll have to trust me. So lessons and blessings is something that is in your life today. Past life influence, currently influencing your life, lessons and blessings. So let's see exactly what that means. What type of lessons and blessings from a past life are influencing your current life? Got a different deck here. I'm just going to kind of be grabbing from different decks. Divine timing we're seeing, and doubt. Okay, so lessons and blessings, very interesting. So you might notice in your life that a lot of things come to you in divine time if it's something that you pay attention to. So for instance, you might get fired from a job at the perfect moment to get a new job that's actually a lot better, and the only way you could have gotten that new job is if you had been talking to somebody about getting fired and they suggested you apply for this new job. divine timing. You might also be a person who runs into people a lot that you know. You might see people like on the street that you just happen to know, or in places where you weren't expecting to see somebody. Divine timing could also be like if you're interested in adoption, either of like a pet or a child, and you just feel like the way that everything worked out was cosmically aligned. Know that that is true for you, and that yours, it's actually some past life energy and karmic, positive karmic energy that is still with you in this life. So a lot of your blessings that you feel like, wow, that doesn't even make sense that that could have happened for me. People might not believe you sometimes, you know, when you tell them how connected you felt and how something felt so magical to you. People might be like, yeah, you know, those kinds of things happen, but just know that it's not true. Actually, it doesn't just happen to everybody, but it happens to you because you're carrying blessings from a past life. And with that, the lesson that you're carrying from a past life is the lesson of doubt. So you might feel doubtful in your own abilities, your own skills. So this also might be a lesson like the divine timing thing, for instance. You might actually doubt the fact that you receive these messages, and you might think that, you know, it's just a coincidence. You might also just doubt your abilities. It might be because of something that happened to you in a past life where you were taught to doubt yourself for one reason or another. So be mindful of that as you move forward in your life, that if you notice yourself feeling doubtful about just your skills and your abilities and your capacity to do things, know that that's coming through from a past life, and it's not actually a representation of your current abilities. So try not to fall into habits of self-doubt, and of course, pay attention to that divine timing, because that is a beautiful lesson and blessing. Immediately, we love that. I feel like this reading is already like, boom, that was so awesome. I feel like you're very, 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 very divinely connected, and just by telling this reading for you, I can sense that absolutely, because I know it's not me that's divinely connected here. It's just you. Your message is just coming through so clearly. So let's see what else is affecting you from a past life. Activated Earth. Oh, this is my favorite card from the deck. So power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. So something from a past life, you might feel connected to specific points on the earth. Sorry, I just need to readjust my seat. I'm like sitting in a really weird position. Okay, sorry. So you might actually feel drawn to certain places on earth. Some very popular places are like Mecca or Sedona. Some people feel very drawn to go to something like the Taj Mahal or Machu Picchu. There just might be places on earth where you just feel like cosmically called to. You might have had an obsession with since you were a child. It might be like an ancient civilization or something on the planet that you just feel like really connected to. It could be your ancestral roots, if you come, whatever ancestry you come from. You just might feel really connected to that type of thing here on earth. And it's really due to your past life. So if there is somewhere like that you feel connected to, you likely spent time in a past life in that place, and that's why you're still holding connection to that place. And it's likely tied to this life of lessons and blessings that you feel connected to as well. And if you're not sure, if you don't feel like you actually really have anywhere on earth that you feel really connected to, just hold this with you, hold this message with you for the next little while, and I'm sure it'll come up, because I think so many of us do have these types of places, and sometimes you just need to hear somebody else talk about a place or mention a place, and then you're like, oh yeah, I have always had a weird connection to like the Pacific Islands, or to, it can even be somewhere in America or in Europe. You know, sometimes when you hear someone else talk about it or it gets brought up somewhere, you're like, oh yeah, I've kind of always been obsessed with Portugal or wherever it might be. That place is likely somewhere that you spent a past life, and there is a lot of actual connection there for you if you would want to travel there. Maybe you already have traveled there. It's something that's on your list. Of course, it's hard to travel right now, but it's something to keep in mind for future, that you might actually want to go check that place out, because it might bring you a lot of closure potentially. It might help you with these lessons and blessings that you have in your current life. Also, if you're somebody that moves around a lot, or someone that has a real desire to move and to live somewhere new, know that this energy is coming to you from a past life, and trust it. Trust it and follow it. Oh. Okay. Sorry. I'm also just gonna pull some, this is the cosmic, what is it called? Cycles, cosmic cycles, just for some tarot insight here as well. So what is this lesson? How can you overcome this lesson of doubt in this lifetime? The Hangman. Okay, so it's all about changing your perspective on the way that you view yourself, as I mentioned. So it's not like a deep doubt that you have. It might not even be something that you really think about all the time. Necessarily for some of you, this might just be something that you're kind of like, oh, do I doubt myself? And the answer is yes. And the answer is that it's actually a lingering lesson from a past life. But the doubt is just requiring you to see it from a new perspective and really just spend some time with it. Spend some time questioning, why do I have this doubt? Where does this doubt stem from? Is this really my thought? Or is this something that has been programmed from a past life or from, societal expectations? For instance, one that just came to mind automatically is, it's such a stereotype in our society that women are bad at math. So as we grow up as children, I'm not sure how it is in present day, but I know for sure it was for my generation growing up. It was like math and science are kind of boy things, and there was definitely this gender stereotype, binary gender stereotype really. And I feel like so many women got repressed in their abilities to do math and science because they were convinced that men are good at that type of thing and girls just aren't really. It's not really a girl thing to do. Girls are supposed to be creative. Girls are supposed to like taking care of people and playing with dolls. They're not supposed to like math and science. So there's this doubt that kind of has been implanted since childhood that people have to really overcome. And of course, we see this example in many ways in our society. It's not just with this one specific way, but I just want to give you an example in the ways that you can doubt yourself. So it's not always necessarily like the most obvious of doubt that you might hold for yourself, like thinking that you're incapable of doing everything, but it could be something kind of like just planted in your mind that you've kind of always believed that isn't necessarily true. And it would be great for you to actually deal with that and really work through it, because you'll find yourself moving to a place of confidence actually, and feeling more capable and just getting more out of life in general. So also, if you're doubting moving, trust divine timing to allow it to make sense for you. I just have to say that. Okay, so I said what will come when we stop doubting ourselves in this group, and I got health. So you'll actually feel a lot more healthy. So if anxiety is something that you struggle with, or you're really stressful because you doubt life a lot, or it could also just be an underlying health condition that might not seem obviously related to your self-doubt, but that actually might end up healing and becoming a lot better if you actually take the time to work through your doubts, which is really interesting. So let's pull one more past life card just to get another insight into what kind of life did you lead in this lessons and blessings life. Like, is there another message from your past life that we want to dissect here quickly? Vows. Interesting. Okay, so in your past life, there likely was some sort of a relationship, a love relationship. In this current lifetime, there's likely a partner or someone who you have been with, likely in marriage if you're not married at this current time. It probably will happen for you at some point in your life because this person is a past life lover, a past life connection that you actually decided for some reason that you're going to be marrying again, incarnating in this lifetime. For some of you, because that's very specific, for some of you it might also just be that the person that you're married to is a past life companion or soulmate connection that is continuing to be with you in this current life, which is really beautiful. So anyone you've made strong vows to, I also weirdly get the sense that this might be a business vow for some reason. If some of you guys have a business partner or someone who you're contractually obliged to work with and who you have that kind of a bond with, I feel like that also is actually for some of you a past life connection as well. But specifically lovers, someone who you are common law or married, or just a very serious relationship, a spiritual union that you have a very deep vow to, that person is absolutely a past life partner for you, and they've come to you as a blessing in your life, really. So they might have also come to you in this lifetime through divine timing, which is really interesting. So I hope that reading made sense for you. I hope it was enjoyable. I hope that you'll let me know if this resonates with you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Okay, group number 2. If you chose the second card out of the 3, the middle card, this reading is for you. When connecting with your energy group too, I saw water immediately, and I also saw wind carrying sails. So you might have been in a past life like an explorer or somebody. This also could be a metaphor for somebody who liked to experience new things, explore. The seeker, kind of like the Fool tarot card, you really like to just go out and explore and figure things out for yourself. That might also be a personality trait that you have in this lifetime, and if that is you, someone that likes to travel, someone that likes to do things, I feel like kind of like Sagittarius energy. Like I'm seeing like an explorer, someone that just wants to understand people in a new perspective and also see the world. You're a very curious personality. Like I'm also getting Gemini energy as well with that curiosity. That's what I see for you immediately. So let's see what your actual tarot cards are. Or sorry, oracle cards. We're not doing tarot. Trees, that's so interesting. So I saw water and this says trees. So we're gonna need to pull some more cards here. So trees in a past life. So if you're somebody that feels very connected to earth energy, or someone that loves to go on walks, someone that studies herbalism or nature in any way, know that the trees speak to you. You might have been a healer in a past life actually. So I was seeing like an explorer, but now I'm seeing with that tree card, I'm like, okay, so are we healers instead? Love life. Okay, so you have love life tied from your past life that is influencing your current life. So we're seeing trees and love life as your first two cards. I need one more for you guys here. Knighthood. Okay, so really interesting. So your past life likely took place somewhere where there might have been war, there might have been a kingdom of some kind that you lived in. You might have been a knight, or you might have been in love with a knight, depending on who you were in a past life. And because this is a group reading, there might be different scenarios, but regardless, if you feel really connected to knights and you watch like shows, like I think about like Game of Thrones or other shows that really portray like knighthood and knights, know that that's an interest that you've picked up from a past life. The tree energy here is just so interesting that we have trees, love life, and knighthood. I honestly want to get another one. In the last reading, I needed like one card and I was good. And this one, I'm like, where are we going? What is your message? Male, female. Okay, so your life was really all about like that duality of the binary gender type. So we had a lot of male, female energy in your life. So that might have been actually, this might be controversial potentially, but there might have actually been some of you that experienced a past life where you actually might have been born one gender but wanted to be another, and spent your life wishing that you could have been born another one. But also for some of you, I'm really just seeing this male-female connection and love life. So your current love life is definitely tied to your past life. There was a lifetime where you experienced love, likely with a knight or somebody of nobility. Potentially you were not of that nobility, maybe you were, I don't know exactly because it's a group reading, but there was definitely some sort of a love life with somebody that was in war or battle, or somebody that you had the potential to lose. And so there was a definite worry and stress, and you definitely took on, I don't know who played which part in your past life, but one of you definitely took on the more male dominated role, like war, going out to fight, serving your kingdom or place that you lived, and the other person took on more of the female trope where they did more of the caring for the family, nurturing and staying home, that type of thing. So there's like this real duality between the lifetime where you weren't really able to be your full self because your life was so constructed by male-female experiences. So likely whichever one you were, you wanted to be the other one. This doesn't necessarily mean that you wanted to swap genders necessarily, although it could have, but even more, it was just like, if you were born a female, you were sad because you didn't have the experiences that men were able to have. If you were born a man, you were sad because you didn't have the experiences that women had. You didn't want to go to war, you didn't want to fight, you wanted to stay home and be with your family and have a nicer, more quiet life. And so this family dynamic that you were put into really felt stressful for you at that time, because there was just such a pull between family. Like, you guys just couldn't all be together. It really, I feel this like pulling between where you guys just couldn't work together. You couldn't be together because of your gender and because of the way that you were pulled apart because of that. And the tree here definitely signifies the tree here definitely signifies the family relationship as well between you. So there was definitely like a real element of wanting that family, but feeling like one of you always had to leave, one of you always had work, one of you always had to go. And so maybe that's why I was seeing the sailor, like the explorer, and it wasn't necessarily because that person actually wanted to explore, which is what I thought, but potentially that they were forced to explore and to leave. And so you actually might have also lost a loved one in war or battle, or while they were gone on a journey of some kind. So what is the main theme of that lifetime that you're still carrying with you right now? Service. Okay, yes. So somebody was forced to go into service to help other people, and that was really painful, because likely I'm feeling like something traumatic must have happened for this to still be carrying on. And it doesn't mean that the person necessarily died or didn't come back, but even just having someone be sent off to war or to battle or of service would of course be very stressful if you didn't want them to leave, potentially if you didn't believe in the cause. And even if you did believe in the cause, it's just a stressful thing to have happen, to have your loved ones have to go to war. And lots of you experience that in this lifetime. Some of you actually might still be in kind of like a family where a member is in the military or the army or the navy or something like that, where you feel stressed because they often have to go. And so your love life was definitely on the forefront of this relationship in the past life, and likely is still with you today as well. So here's ambition. So this is why I'm kind of getting this energy of, like I was mentioning earlier, about being one gender but kind of wishing you could be the other. There's like a sense of jealousy almost, that the other person got to go be of service, be useful, be helpful, and you were stuck behind not being able to do that because of your gender, or vice versa. You know, you had, but because I'm seeing ambition, I feel like for you, you really did want to actually go and do this thing, but you likely were a woman or somebody that wouldn't have been valued in the same way in that lifetime. So your family relationship that you currently have, you might actually still be somebody that is really driven to be of service to other people. This could be in your job, but it also may be in your family in general. If you have a family, you might be somebody that always wants to help other people, and you are really drawn to making everyone else feel comfortable and feel happy. And this is likely because of a past life energy that you're still holding on to. So let's see, what else about your past life? What was another main theme of that past life that's still carrying through for you today? I remember, soul plan, fated life versus destiny life. So you actually probably know what I'm talking about in this reading, potentially even. These might be thoughts that you've had before. You might have a real strong connection to this lifetime and actually know what I'm talking about, because I right now have no idea what I'm talking about. It feels very vague. I feel like I'm not really getting to the meat of the reading necessarily, because I don't really understand it from a logical perspective. I'm just reading what I'm seeing and going intuitively, but I'm sensing here with this card that you actually do know what I'm talking about, and you know this, like you understand this reading on some level, and you're like, yes, that makes sense. I remember this. I'm sorry, my camera battery just overheated like it loves to do. So I'm getting the sense, like I was mentioning, that you actually do remember this lifetime, and you do remember a lot of these lessons. Your current love life relationship actually might be tied to this in some way. Like you might see a reflection of this reading in your current relationship, or potentially if you're divorced, a relationship that you were previously in. I don't know why I'm getting a divorced energy here, but I think it's just because of this male-female duality split that I'm almost seeing like somebody who is not with this person anymore in this lifetime, although I could absolutely be wrong because of the tree energy here. But so I was kind of confused at the beginning of your reading that I was getting the water and like the travel, but I think the water is really just the representation, less so about like the literal water and more so about the emotions. So there's a lot of like emotions here with the love life. I'm just really getting like this Lovers tarot card energy, Gemini energy with this reading in general. So really interesting. So if you feel like in this lifetime you're somebody that really wants to be of service, you have a lot of ambition, you might also really overextend yourself in your romantic relationships and really want to take on like the domestic role that you feel like you are supposed to take on. Know that that comes from a past life. If you're someone that feels very, you know, you want to take care of your family and you want to do the typical chores that you think are right for whatever gender you are, know that that comes from a past life actually, because of what you had to do in a past life where you had to really take care of your family and be of service in one way or another. And again, I'm getting the sense of like a jealousy almost, that you can't be the other gender or you can't have the other roles. And know that in this lifetime you absolutely can. It doesn't mean that you have to change your gender, although you have that option, but even more so just if you're somebody, for instance, a woman who really is interested in woodworking or, you know, carpentry or something that's typically more masculine, know that in this lifetime that is available to you and you can absolutely start doing that at any point in your lifetime. So don't be shy to do that, because it's a past life memory that really is holding you back here. So what can you do to kind of balance this energy? The moon. Okay, so there's that water energy that I was seeing. So this absolutely is a very emotional thing for you. It's really tied to how you view yourself and how you view other people. That moon card is really quite interesting here. So there's a lot of love energy, a lot of emotion that you carry from a past life that you actually remember. You have a really good sense of memory from this past life. It might have been recent or it might have just been incredibly significant for you. The Magician reversed. So you are carrying a lot of this energy with you and doubting yourself in this lifetime. You might feel like you're not good enough to do certain roles or certain things, and that's because, actually interesting, we had doubt as one of the main messages from the first reading, but we're seeing it again here where you're just doubting your capabilities because of your gender. And that is so interesting because I actually also said that in the first reading, where I said that, anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but if you feel drawn to that first reading as well, there actually might be some messages there for you too, because I'm feeling like these readings, although different, are kind of similar. Really interesting. So anyways, there's definitely a sense here that you had a family in a past life, you had someone that you really loved, and they had to be of service, or you had to be of service where you needed to be away due to engagements or just, you know, law or just order, something. There's a reason that someone had to leave, and they were proud to leave because it was something very valued in that lifetime, but that doesn't mean that it didn't hurt the people that were left behind. So whether you were the one who traveled or you were the one left behind, know that that's still carrying with you in this lifetime. And you might be afraid to leave your family in this lifetime. You might be afraid to try new things and not really embrace your interests because you might feel like you're not allowed to because of what you did in a past life. But know that you absolutely have that potential in this current lifetime. And if you are in a romantic relationship at this time with a soulmate connection that you feel very deep to, know that someone in your love life is somebody from a past life that is here with you, likely with this kind of binary gender where they're potentially, one of you is like very like stereotypically their gender, if that makes sense, like a macho man or something like that, or a very like feminine, graceful, nurturing woman. Like, I'm getting that real duality of the male-female energy. And if there's someone in your life that plays that balance for you, know they're from a past life. Not necessarily saying they need to be somebody that you're with or a partner for you necessarily, but they are somebody that you did love in a past life that is here with you again. And there's a real essence of family here as well. So family is something that you find really important. And if it's something that you have issues with, like I'm sensing like divorce or like chaos in the family in this lifetime, it's because of the messages from the past lifetime that you're still carrying with you. So it's important to tap into your emotions and really question, like, where does this stuff stem from and why do you hold on to it? And really start tapping into your own magic and your own potential. Also, this I Remember card, let me know if you actually do remember these lessons or if they resonate with you, because that is so cool. So thank you so much for being here, and I am looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye. Group number 3, if you chose the third pile to the right over here, then this reading is for you. And when tapping into your energy for this reading, group 3, I really saw, I don't know why I always say I really, I saw you climbing up a bunch of stairs and you kept tripping up the stairs, and the saying that came to mind is 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So in a past life, I'm getting the sense that you were really trying to move forward and make changes in your life, but you maybe felt held back. There might have actually been circumstances that held you back, or it might have been a internal like self-sabotage type thing. I'm not sure exactly, but there's something that was holding you back, and I feel like that is currently affecting you in this lifetime. So that's my sense, and sometimes my sense is not right, and sometimes it's bang on. We saw that in card 1, I was completely accurate, and in card 2, I was a little off. So let's see what the cards actually have to say. Father. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so past lifetime, you have a really important relationship with the father. This could have been that you were a father in a past life, or that you just had a very close relationship with one, but likely in your lifetime, this lifetime, you probably have a really interesting relationship with your father, and we will see what that means while looking at the rest of your cards. And because it's a group reading, this might be, different for a lot of you, so we'll try to get it as accurate as we can. I just need to stand up. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna need to stand up for your reading because that stool was just, I was sitting on a stool that just was not comfortable. Okay, so Father. So what other energies are coming up for you, group 3? Monk or nun? Okay, we gotta keep going here because we don't know what this is, where this is going. Authority figures. Okay, so less so about the father and more so about authority. So you might have a relationship in this current lifetime to authority figures where you either follow strictly what they tell you, or you feel like you just want to rebel and not listen at all. So another main message from this lifetime. Asia. Okay, so you likely lived in Asia in this lifetime. Very interesting. If you are currently of Asian descent, that's really cool as well. So let's see. What does this authoritative figure kind of mean for you living in Asia in this lifetime? Gratitude. Okay, so your freedom in this current lifetime is something that you want to find gratitude for, because you didn't actually have freedom in your previous lifetime when you were living really in a dictatorship where you didn't have a lot of freedom, because there was just a lot of rules imposed on you. And again, because this is a group reading, we likely have some people who were, who had really strict rules from their fathers, others who had really strict rules from the government in the lifetime that they lived in, others who decided or who were forced into doing something like being a monk or a nun, where you were really, really rigid in your beliefs and you had to really follow and adhere to strict guidelines for your lifetime. So now that you have freedom in this current lifetime, gratitude is something that you probably feel for your freedom. You probably know what I'm talking about when I say that. And self-sufficiency is also something that came up in your reading. So you might feel really drawn to like live off the grid, or have a garden, or work and be your own boss. And there's this real element of like wanting to be free and rebelling in a certain sense, not necessarily in a dramatic sense, but just in little ways. Like you might like to just be self-sufficient in certain ways in this current lifetime, and that's because of one of your prominent past lifetimes where you actually were not self-sufficient and you were potentially living in like a communist country, or under a really strict regime of some sort. For some of you, it might have been in Asia. For others, who knows? I mean, that's very specific. But yes, that authoritative kind of vibe that you were forced into is something that in this lifetime you find a lot of gratitude for the freedom that you currently have, which is really interesting. So embrace your freedom and continue to be self-sufficient. That's really cool. What else are we seeing here? The blue flame, spontaneous Awakening, activation, integration time. Okay, so this lifetime for you is really all about integrating those lessons. So it makes sense that you would have been under kind of a strict regime and now feeling a lot of freedom, living somewhere hopefully where you feel very free. You have a lot of gratitude, you're very self-sufficient. So the reason why there is this duality is because this is like an activation lifetime for you, where your soul is really going through some sort of higher evolution, I suppose. I don't even know. These, like, the thoughts that I'm getting for your reading right now are just so prominent and like deep, and they're very like cosmic that it's hard to put into words, almost like the vibe that's coming through for you right now. But this blue flame, blue energy representative of the throat chakra is the chakra of truth, wisdom, and like speaking your truth and honesty. So there is like a sense that in the past life you weren't able to speak your truth. You had to follow rules. You had to listen to authority. You had to go with the grain and just do what was asked of you in that lifetime. And that was probably really hard for you because of course that's very like demeaning and repressive, and it's not conducive of like a free, healthy, happy spirit, right? Because you're repressed. So in this lifetime, you're finding so much gratitude and self-sufficiency for who you want to be and what you want to do, and that's something that's really important to you. You might have in this lifetime made some really drastic or dramatic decisions where you said to someone like, I'm not following your rules anymore. You might be somebody who has quit a job, quit a relationship, or you really want to, and this is a sign for you that it is right for you to do that. Find self-sufficiency, like do things on your own, because this is a soul's lesson for you. Because it's something that has to do with like your greater evolution that us as humans, and even me as an intuitive, psychic, spiritual, I don't even have the words to express what your soul is going through because it's so above this plane. But just know that it is in cosmic alignment, and it is something that is going to be incredibly beneficial for your soul long term. A beautiful, beautiful message for you in this reading. So if I can give you any tips on what to do about this, not that you really have anything to do besides continuing to practice gratitude and just like following your own path, which I feel like you've already been doing. This is just kind of like a reminder to you, but also try to work on your throat chakra, do some throat chakra exercises, whether that's like hymns or practicing your speaking abilities, being honest about something in your life, learning how to just really communicate your emotions. That's a real important lesson for you in this lifetime. That blue energy for sure is just really important, very interesting and very cool. This is a really cool reading. So now let's do a Cosmic Cycles tarot card just to get a little bit, oh goodness, just to see what else is coming through here. Two of Swords reversed. Okay, so you actually might be feeling like you need to really channel your inner voice. So as we're doing this reading, there might actually be something that you feel like you've been indecisive on, potentially as it relates to your own self-sufficiency and your freedom, that you've been kind of wavering on and maybe holding back from. You maybe haven't been wanting to speak out as much as you should be at this current time, but know that any feelings that you have or setbacks about being decisive and making your voice heard is because of a past life problem that you had, or life, not even problem, but just it's because of a past life experience. So in this current lifetime, it's important for you to really hone in on gratitude and really start being decisive in making decisions, because that's really going to help your soul's journey, and it's going to help you in this lifetime and beyond. So really try to tap into that. Like I said, do some work with the throat chakra, look it up online or in a book or resource. If you don't know much about the throat chakra, that's something that I really think you should look into, because I think that's really going to help you become more decisive and find your own voice of authority and your own inner knowing, that ability to trust yourself like you would trust a father that you loved and that loved you unconditionally. There's like an element of protection that you have with that father energy, and that's something that you can cultivate for yourself in this lifetime, but it's going to require you to make some decisions and to go in alone a little bit and really just like find your own inner strength and inner voice. So that's so interesting. Please let me know if this resonated with you. This was such a fun reading to do, and I thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.